Hey everyone, it's Enjoy English School. I'm Chris Gorski.
I'm Anthony.
And we have our Just So You Know article, A Day in the Lives of the Swedish.
没错，今天我们要跟各位介绍的呢是疫情下的瑞典 Lifvs 日常。各位可能听到 Lifvs 的时候，或是看到这个文章里面有出现这个字的时候，你可能会好奇说，这到底是什么东西啊？这呢是一个连锁的这种类似像超商一样的杂货店哦。
Yeah, it's a little tiny supermarket. They're cute, actually. They're really small. And they're really special because there's no one inside.
最特别的地方是它是完全没有人在里面的。那一个没有人的杂货店，没有人在管理的杂货店，到底它是怎么样经营的呢？我们赶快来看看今天的内容吧。
All right, so let's jump right into paragraph 1. Lifvs, or maybe Lives, is a chain of Swedish grocery stores.
我们先看第一段的第一句话咯。它这边讲到说 Lives or Lives， 我们的话后面都会讲 Lives， 好，就统一讲这个。但是它有可能是 Lives， 有可能，因为它是瑞典文嘛，或者是说今天它取名的时候，我们找不到这个声音，所以我们先统一一个说法。这个超商呢 is a chain of Swedish grocery stores， 它是一个连锁的这种杂货店，它的名字叫做 Lifvs。Now,
before we start recording at Enjoy English School, we always check our pronunciation. Like, 这个男演员叫什么名字？这个那个国外的那个字叫什么？怎么说？ And we listen to a lot of videos, people in Sweden, but we think maybe they don't know either because we watched like 6 or 7 videos. Nobody would say the name of the store. They would talk about the store but not say it. So maybe it's Lives, maybe it's Lives. We don't know.
Yeah, 没错。
They don't know either, right?
Yeah.
All right. The stores aren't supermarkets. They're closer to convenience stores in size.
好，接下来我们就告诉你说这个店的规模是怎么样的。Though the stores aren't supermarkets， 它们倒不像超市一样那么大哦，比较像什么呢 ？They are closer to convenience stores in size， 在这个大小规模上面呢，它们比较接近像超商一样的感觉。
Do you know what I thought? I was like, you know what this reminds me of? If you live in Taipei, it's like the 那个 Brown Line.Those MRT, one MRT car on the Brown Line. If you don't live in Taipei, maybe like think of like the MRT, it like 切一车一班, and that's like the size of one store for Lives or Lives.
哦，这么小哦
Yeah, it's really small. It's really small.
很像是那种我们捷运文湖线上的一个大的那个，可能像是一节车厢或2节车厢这样子的大小，其实没有很大。
Not two.
哦，一个而已，
Yeah, they're
一节
really
车厢的感觉。
small.
哇哦。
Yeah. So, all right, here we go. The chain began in 2018, I said 2018, with a goal of bringing shops to small towns in remote areas.
好，再来我们看这句话。The chain， 这就是指这个连锁超商呢。好 ，began in 2018， 好，也就是指2018年的时候开始出现了。With the goal of， 这个地方特别画起来 ，with the goal of doing something， 就是目标是希望能够怎么样 ？Bringing shops to small towns in remote areas， 他们目的是希望能够把这些超商啊、杂货店带到一些比较偏乡的这种小地方 ，small towns in remote areas， 偏远地区，我们可以说 remote areas。
Just like Anthony said, circle of, that's our preposition. After our preposition, we need a noun. So draw a little arrow, 划小箭头 to the ing. We can't say with a goal of bring shops. That's wrong.
没错，介系词后面一定要接 VING 的这种概念要有哦。
Now, you heard Anthony and I say, we said remote. People that speak a little faster might say remote, but generally speaking, because we're saying this is a place that is not easy to go to, we say remote with long E, long O.
Remote 好，就是指偏远的地方。
Our next sentence says, they aimed to put stores in places that were too small to have any.
好 ，OK， 再来我们看下面这句话 ，They aim to do something。我们先把 aim 这个字给圈起来。这个字 aim， 它当名词的时候，它就是目标的意思。所以说这边这样当动词使用 ，They aimed to do something， 就是他们的目标是希望做什么。Put stores in places that were too small to have any。很多地方因为太小，人口太少了，所以他们觉得在那个地方设任何的超商或杂货店可能不划算。他的目的就是希望这些太小、不被重视的地方也能够有超商杂货店可以买东西。
I underlined they aimed to, and I wrote they wanted to. That means the same thing, but they aimed to sounds like a bigger, more important goal.
所以用 aim to 的话，给人感觉有一种重要的目的，好，或是重要的一种任务那种感觉。
Grocery stores in these areas were losing more money than they were making.
好，他就告诉你说，这些地方为什么没有人去设超商设点呢？原因就来咯。Grocery stores in these areas， 在这些地方的这些杂货店呢 ，were losing more money than they were making。他们其实事实上是入不敷出的，没有那么多人，可是经营超商、经营杂货店是需要固定成本，所以在这种地方呢，往往经营不善，最后就会倒店。
Very nice. And our next sentence says, Lifvs solves this problem by removing the employees.
好，这边这个地方要注意一下。如果说今天提到 solves this problem by doing something， 就是透过后面这个手段来解决这个问题。想想看，开一家店的话，可能需要很多成本，除了这个物流的成本之外，人事成本也很重要嘛，对不对？所以在这里的话，这个 Lifvs 它这个杂货店呢，它是怎么样解决这个问题的呢？ Solve this problem by removing， 移除。去掉 the employees， 指的就是指把员工去掉了之后，少了这个人事成本，说不定这个地方就可以运作下去了。
Let's take a quick break. Hey, welcome back to a more Enjoy English School. We're talking about the very unique grocery store called Lifvs. Before we begin paragraph 2, I wanted to just share a few facts. And Lifvs is very interesting. So we know these are in very remote, faraway places. So these big trucks that bring these convenience stores, they actually bring the store to the place. They build it far away, then they bring it to the location and carefully put it down. That means the store is actually like in a long container.
没错，各位有没有听过货柜屋啊？也就是那种大的那种货柜，有没有在这个地方改装了之后变成一个屋子一样？想象一下哦，这种杂货店呢，就是在货柜屋里面把它制作而成的。制作好了之后，再用大卡车移到这些偏远的地区，这是很特别的地方，对吧？
And they're driving up like a mountain very carefully because if they drive dangerously, pew.
没错，因为在那个山间这样开车的时候，他们开得特别小心。如果不小心开太快了，一个甩尾，对不对？那个整个货可以翻倒了之后，那就完蛋了。
And if the store fails in this new place, they can just pick it up and take it somewhere else.
而且最棒的事情是，如果说在这边发现到，哎呦，真的经营起来没什么人呢，没关系，他们不需要整个砍掉重练，他们只要把这个卡车载过来，好，然后之后把整台把这个整个杂货店搬走，搬到一个新的位置，这样就可以了，很方便。
And one last fast fact, in 1985, so 1985年, like when we were small, there were 8,500 grocery stores in Sweden. In 2010, there were less than 3,500.
天哪！所以在当初1985年，我们两个都还很小的时候呢，那时候大概全部的瑞典呢有8500家这种超商或者是像杂货店。那直到2010年的时候呢，现在已经少于3500家了。可是它这个中间少了非常非常多的杂货店。
Yeah. And a very fast grammar fact. We're talking about grocery. JYY stores. When you go there, you buy a plural countable noun. 你买的那个东西都是 groceries. 你去外加 IES. You can't buy a grocery.
没错。所以我们提到 grocery stores 的时候 ，grocery 是这个放在前面那种单数的方式。可是如果你今天去买一些日常生活的杂货，我们会用复数的形态去 y 加上 ies 来表达。
That's right. Let's begin our next paragraph. At Lifvs, you open the door with an app on a smartphone.
好，再来我们看第二段喽。At Lifvs 在这个地方呢 ，you open the store door with an app on a smartphone. 那今天既然没有人在这里面经营没有人在这边的话，你要开门的话，你必须要去做什么事情？你是要在这个手机上面下载一个 app， 就是应用程式。你要开门的话，你在这个应用程式上面去开门。
The app is also connected to Bank ID, a system which is used by all of Sweden's banks.
好，现在告诉你说，这个应用程式呢也会连接到 is also connected to Bank ID， 也就是你这个银行上的 ID 号码。A system which is used by all of Sweden's banks， 所有这在瑞典的这个银行呢，都会使用同样的一个系统，所以变成是说你进去的时候，马上你就知道说，哦，谁进来了，谁进来我们这个杂货店了，然后呢，你这上面已经有你的账号啊，什么都在那边。
Instead of paying a store worker, customers scan items with their smartphone and then carry them home.
好，再来我们看第三句话咯。Instead of， 老师在讲到 instead of 时候，手就一直比一个叉叉的，所以你看到 instead of 后面接的东西，你就先帮我在上面心中打一个大叉叉，就是不会去做的事情。他说什么呢 ？Instead of paying a store worker， store worker 当然就是在那个地方的员工，他不会去做这件事情。好，他说 customers scan items with their smartphone， 他们这些去的顾客就会自己去扫描他们买的这些商品 with their smartphones， 他们是用他手机去扫描 and then carry them home， 然后就可以直接把他们带回家了。所以自己当这个最后扫描这个条码的人，而不需要去把钱呢付给他们那边的员工。事实上那边也没有任何的员工。
Now, pick up your pen and write this down. The instead of grammar is pretty special. So 我们要show instead of V-I-N-G 逗号SVO, subject verb object. 我们没办法说 instead of you paying a store worker 怎么样 We say instead of VING, comma, subject verb object.
没错。没错，我们要把它写下来 ，instead of 后面直接接上一个动作，不可以接人呐，不可能接句子啊，因为 of 后面的话就是接一个名词嘛 ，instead of doing something， 在这里的话特别注意它跟 VING 的搭配使用哦。
And then carry them home. Write down carry them to. 谁下来 to and cross it out. We don't say carry them to home. Just carry them home is good.
没错，带回家就要 carry them home 就好了，不要 to。所以你写上一个 to， 然后再打一个叉叉，会有个印象说，哦，这边不能用 to。
Our next sentence says, because the app requires identification, ID, shoplifting is rare.
好，再来我们看这句话咯 Because the app requires identification。想象一下哦，如果今天你要去进入个超商，他就直接看到你的 ID 了，你敢不敢在里面偷东西顺手牵羊？一定不敢吧，对不对？因为这个时间就你来嘛，对不对？你来的话，你如果东西少了，那不是你是谁呢？所以他后面讲的这个字 shoplifting is rare。Shoplifting 就是在这个店里头顺手牵羊偷东西行窃。那在这边的话，因为你进去人家就知道你是谁了，要去查很方便，所以你也不太敢行窃。在那边发生这种行窃的这种情况也是少之又少。
Shoplifting just means stealing, but at a store.
Stealing at a store 就是在店里头偷东西。
And pay attention to the word rare. This pronunciation is really hard for a lot of students. We know 空气 air, right? So first you say air, 加 r, air, air, rare. That's a tough word to say.
没错，所以你把它先跟空气 air 搭配在一起，再把 r 的声音加进去，变成 rare 就很简单了。
Our next sentence says, in the past year, the Lifvs system was especially helpful.
好，在过去这一年里头呢 ，the Lifvs system was especially helpful。在过去这个疫情的期间呢，有这样子的这种杂货店真的是很有帮助。
That's right. Our next sentence says, Lifvs' limited contact model is ideal in this time of COVID-19.
没有错。所以在疫情的情况下，人与人之间的接触呢，尽量是能够减低是最好的嘛，对不对？所以在这里这句话就讲说 ，Lifvs limited contact model。这个 limited contact 就是有限制的这种接触。这样子的 model, like business model, 这样子的商业模式呢 is ideal in this time of COVID-19. 尤其在疫情的情况之下，有这样子的商业模式，减少人与人之间的接触，实在是 ideal, 就是非常非常理想的状态。
Good, and this is short o model, don't say modal. Our next sentence says, similar stores have popped up all around the world.
好，接下来就告诉你了 ，similar stores have popped up all around the world。也因为这样的关系呢，在世界各地也开始出现类似的这样的商店。Similar stores have popped up. Popped up， 各位你可能有听过那个 pop up 那个 book 有没有？一打开之后，它会这样，整个要立起来，变立体的，很方便。所以如果说今天听到什么东西突然之间它 pop up， 意思就是指突然之间。短时间之内突然出现很多这样类型的商店啊等等的，到处林立的那种感觉。
Yeah, just like popcorn. Now,
popcorn.
Pay attention to the regular verb pronunciation. It's popped, popped. A lot of people think P is P, and that's wrong. It's pa. 它是清音 so ed 发 T, popped up. Our next sentence says, what do you think of the Lifvs model?
好，最后他就问你了，他说 What do you think of？ 当你问到 What do you think of 的时候，就是问对方的意见、想法，你对这东西有什么想法呢？你的立场是什么呢？ What do you think of the Lifvs model？ 你觉得这样子的商业模式如何呢？
Would you miss chatting with employees?
Would you miss chatting with employees？ 你会不会很怀念以前还可以一边在结账的时候，一边跟这个收银员有说有笑的聊天？你会怀念这种感觉吗？
Or do you prefer to be left alone to shop in peace?
或者呢，你会比较喜欢 Do you prefer to be left alone？ 没有人去理你，然后让你可以 to shop in peace， 安安静静的好好购物。
This kind of talking with workers in a store or when someone cuts your hair, this is called small talk. And Americans love small talk, 2 words. But actually, people in Sweden are pretty famous for not liking small talk. So I think most of them won't. I think Taiwanese kind of like small talk too. So I don't know. But for me, headphones in, no thanks.
是哦，哇，老师原来是这样的。各位 ，small talk 就是中文我们常常讲的闲聊，可能你在买东西的时候跟这个店员闲聊2句，然后觉得今天有跟朋友聊到很棒。可是事实上，在北欧的国家，很多的时候他们就不喜欢特别闲聊，他们喜欢保有自己的那种个人的空间。那老师也讲说，平常在生活当中，他喜欢就是插着耳机，然后该买东西就买了，然后就不要去理别人，这样最棒了。
I'm polite. I just don't want small talk. That's
all.
All right, let's get ready for vocab review. All right, just before we start vocab review, I wanted to ask a question. Do you know what there's something you won't see at the Lifvs supermarket?
然后老师问说，你们要不要猜猜看哈？你有东西呢？你在超市里面，你不会看到一个东西是什么
Well, you won't see the shopping cart.
You won't see the shopping cart. 在这个 Lifvs 这个商店里头，你不会看到这个购物车。
That's right. You won't see them because they're really small. But interestingly, for a long time in stores, you didn't see them at grocery stores either. They were only invented in 1938.
所以说今天如果说你要去看过往历史的话，其实购物车历史呢，其实也没有很长，它是在1938年的时候才被创造出来的。
That's right. In the past, you used to tell a worker what you wanted, and they'd give it to you, a little like Food Panda. But then a supermarket realized people like to pick their own food, so he made an easy shopping cart, and it became a worldwide sensation.
原来如此。所以在这边的话呢，以往的时候就是你告诉这个店员说，我需要买什么东西，然后店员拿给你。后来他们发觉到说，大家喜欢自己去挑自己喜欢的东西，甚至是食物啊等等。后来于是呢，就发明了这个购物车，后来大受欢迎。
That's right. Let's start our vocab review. Number 1, remote areas.
Remote areas 就是偏远地区。
还是 remote areas. Both are fine. Next, we aim to do something.
We aim to do something 就是我们想要去做什么事情，目标是要去做什么事。
Number 3, to remove something.
To remove something 就是指把什么东西移走、移除。
Our next phrase is instead of doing a, comma, SVO.
Okay, instead of doing a, comma, 然后后面接一个子句，就是指不去做 A 而去做后面的事。
And our last one, rare.
Rare 就是很稀少、很稀有的意思。
That's a tough word to say. It's a rare word, and it's rarely spoken correctly by students. All right, well, we're out of time at Enjoy English School. We'll catch you next time. I'm Chris Gorski.
I'm Anthony.
See you then.
Bye-bye.
第34页，生活快递，疫情下的瑞典 Lifvs 日常。
A day in the Lifvs of the Swedish. Lifvs is a chain of Swedish grocery stores. The stores aren't supermarkets. They're closer to convenience stores in size. The chain began in 2018 with the goal of bringing shops to small towns in remote areas.They aimed to put stores in places that were too small to have any. Grocery stores in these areas were losing more money than they were making. Lifvs solves this problem by removing the employees. At Lifvs, you open the store door with an app on a smartphone. The app is also connected to Bank ID, a system which is used by all of Sweden's banks.Instead of paying a store worker, customers scan items with their smartphone and then carry them home. Because the app requires identification, shoplifting is rare. In the past year, the Lifvs system was especially helpful. Lifvs' limited contact model is ideal in this time of COVID-19. Similar stores have popped up all around the world.What do you think of the Lifvs model? Would you miss chatting with employees? Or do you prefer to be left alone to shop in peace?